Okay, guys, so let us start. I'll just brush it up once and then we'll move further. Okay, guys. So what is Azure? Okay, data factory. Okay, guys, Azure data factory is nothing but it is a service. It is a service. Okay, it is a service from Microsoft. It is a service from Microsoft. Okay, which performs the job of ETL, which stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and loading between the clouds and on-premises and clouds. Okay, guys. Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm audible, everyone?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So, guys, let us start with this. So here, Azure Data Factory is a service from Microsoft, which is used to perform the job of ETL between the clouds and on-premises to clouds. Okay, guys. So whereas you already know what is a cloud, guys. Okay, you already know what is clouds. So what is cloud environment and what is on-premises environment? Yes, guys. So already you know it, but still I wanted to just brush it up once before we move further. Okay, so that you don't have any confusion in the later stages. Yes, guys, tell me what is the difference between the cloud and on-premises? Yes. Yeah, I'm audible, everyone. See, please respond, guys. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
On premises means the server will be available on the machine itself, and clouds means this is the servers. This is the common servers, physical servers residing, but it will be shared by everybody.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, guys. So now, guys, let us see here. That's fine. A good answer. So, guys, let us see it in very simplified manner. What is the difference you have between the clouds and on-premises? Okay. So just let me brush it up because already you know it, but still I wanted to brush it up before we move further, guys. So whereas the cloud is nothing but the data which is there on the environment called that is, for example, guys, we have a mobile phone, whereas in our mobile phone we store the data in what formats? Tell me now. We store the data in mobile memory, in the mobile memory. So how many types of memories you will have in a mobile phone? Yes, guys, we have a mobile. So in the mobile, how many type of memories you will have it? First of all is the mobile inbuilt memory you will have it. Okay, that is called as inbuilt memory. Inbuilt memory, that is according to the mobile phone you will have 16 GB memory, okay, etc, etc. And apart from this, if you require more memory to be extended or expanded, we require to insert the SD card, that is SanDisk card, a small card we have to insert it. So whereas this will allow you to extend your memory. Suppose you have a 32 GB of the SD card memory. So now, guys, totally what is the memory available in your mobile phone? Can you tell me, guys? 16 plus 32 GB. Tell me now, what is the total amount of memory you will have it, guys? Tell me now. 16 GB plus 32 GB. Tell me now.
48.
What do you,
48.
48, exactly. So you will have what is 48 GB of memory. So beyond that, if at all you want to save more memory, suppose we have 800 GB of data to be stored in your mobile phone. So can we store it now? Tell me now, guys. Can we store it in a mobile phone? Not possible. Am I right? Because the allocated memory, the size of your inbuilt memory of your mobile phone as well as the SD card is totally equivalent to 48 GB. But as you have 800 GB of data, which we cannot store it. So whereas guys, what we do, we take the support of a Google Drive. Am I right, guys? Okay. Or we also go with the Google Drive, which we have it, Google Drive. So whereas as you have by default, but Google provides a memory of what is it, 15 GB only. But whereas if at all you wanted to store the 800 GB of the memory in your mobile phone or in your Google Drive, we need to buy it. Am I right, guys? We need to buy it. So whenever you buy this, and whenever you pay the cost and you buy this 800 GB of memory, so from that point onwards, you will be able to store the 800 GB of your memory in the Google Drive. So what is the advantage of storing the data in Google Drive? Whenever you want, you can access your drive from anywhere across the globe. Am I right, guys? And the security of your data is the responsibility of the Google. And whereas whenever you require, you can change the handset. Am I right, guys? Whenever you require, you can change the handset. So you need not rely upon your mobile phone. Even if you lose your mobile phone, you buy a new mobile phone tomorrow. So what happens? You can simply synchronize the data and get it back by just entering your email ID and the password. Am I right, guys? So whereas whenever you store the data in the Google Drive, that means this data is stored in the environment called, what is that? Cloud environment. In the environment called what? Cloud environment. And whenever you store the data, can you see here? Whenever you store the data within, within the inbuilt memory of your mobile phone or the SD card, this is called as what? On premises. This is called as what, guys? On premises. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Yes, please. So this is called as what? On premises. So we will be having two types of storages even in your mobile phone, that is called as on premises, which is inbuilt memory of your mobile phone, and as well as on the SanDisk card, SD card. So these are the two memories. Whereas apart from this, you can configure the Google Drive, and yes, guys, we can configure the Google Drive and we can store the data. Yeah, tell me, please. Who is it? So now, guys, can you see it? So we can store the data in the Google Drive, and as much as data you want, you can store it here. Okay. So if at all you want more than the 800 GB also, you can store it. There is no limitation. But the only thing is what? Subject to the payment. Subject to the payment, it is allowed. Am I right, guys? In the same way, the large corporates and the business entities are now shifting the data from the on-premises, from your local computer to on what is that? Cloud environment. It is as simple. Can you see here? You have your, can you see here, all of you? I'm having my desktop here, guys. I'm just showing you my desktop. Here, can you see? I have the drives. I just open this PC and I'll have the drives here. Can you see here? I have a drives. Now, guys, these are drives consisting of some data. So these drives, C drive, D drive, E drive, all these drives consisting of some data. Whereas, guys, whenever I want to access the data, I need to open this. That is nothing but laptop or the desktop, and then only I'll be able to access this data. Am I right, guys? So that means this data is local to the system or local to the server. Am I right, guys? Yes, it is local to the system or local to the server. Hence, such kind of data is called as what? On-prem data. So whereas here we move the data towards a cloud environment. So whereas when it comes to this Azure Data Factory, the Azure Data Factory is a service which is provided by the Microsoft to perform the job of ETL, which stands for what? Extraction, transformation, and what is that, guys? You have it? Loading. To perform the job of extraction, transformation, and loading. So between the environment. So guys, for the process of ETL, for the process of what? Extraction. Yes, guys, extraction, transformation. For the job of extraction, transformation, and loading, guys, we require two things. What is the two things we require? It source. We require the first thing as what? Source. And the second thing we require it as what? Target. Am I right, guys? The first thing you require it as the source, and the second thing you require it as what? Target. Between the source and the target, guys, we perform the job of what? ETL. And to perform this job of ETL, that is called as extraction, transformation, and loading, we use the service here. We don't call it as a product. We use the service as what? ADF, which is nothing but called as what? Azure Data Factory. Yes, guys, everyone is following. Please come out with your
Yes,
answer. Yeah,
sir, I have one question.
tell me.
So here, source will be only means source may be cloud on premise, but target will be only cloud, right?
Yeah, it can be cloud or it can also be sometimes on premises. But very
Oh,
rarely you will have the target as the on-prem. Mostly you will have cloud only. Okay,
okay, but it may be possible, right?
it is possible. It is possible,
Oh,
guys. Definitely possible. Whereas, can you see here? So now, guys, here you have it, the source and the target. Whereas the source means what? The source of data, actually. The source of data. So that means the source of data. Source of data means what? A place from where you can expect the data is called as what? Source of data. Is called as what? Source of data. And from the source of data, we pick up the data from the source, actually. So what are the type of sources we can have? We can have the files. We can get the data in the source in the type of files, in the form of what is that? Databases, in the form of what is that? Live streaming data. Okay, guys, live streaming data, any of that source we can have it. So we perform the job of what? Extraction, that is called as picking up the data. And then we perform the job of what is that? Once the data is picked up, we perform the job of the transformation. And once the transformation is done, finally we load the data. Where do we load it? We load the data into what is that? Our respective targets. Am I right, guys? We load the data into what? Respective target. So hence it is called as what? Target. It is called as what? Target, or we can say destination. Target or destination. Getting my point, guys? Now, guys, when it comes to this source of data, or let us go ahead with the further thing, guys. Now already we have discussed this point also yesterday, but just I wanted to refresh it once before we move further, guys. Now tell me, what is big data? Tell me now. Big data is nothing but a massive
huge,
amount of
huge
data.
amount of data.
Yes, massive or huge amount of data is called as what? Big data. So now, guys, tell me, what are the sources from where you can expect the big data? Few are
So,
the
so,
sources we have discussed yesterday. Tell me now, what is that you have it?
social media,
Social networking sites. Yes, social networking sites. Social networking sites.
banking sector,
Social networking sites. And next one, we have what? Banking applications. From we get the big data from what's that? Banking applications. And then we can get the data from what is that? Tell me now.
human data generated
Yes,
by
human
human.
generated data. That means the data can be what? Generated by human beings. So hence it is called as what? Human generated data.
IoT,
And
sensor,
then we can have what? Machine
Machine
generated
generated.
data. The data which is generated by the machineries. Okay. Machine generated data. And then we can have what is that? The final one. What you said just now, somebody. So what is that?
IoT,
Yes,
IoT sensor.
IoT sensors. So IoT sensors. Okay. We can get the data from what is that? IoT sensors. So these are the various sources of getting the big data. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Yes. Now, guys, these are the various source of getting the big data. That's it. Now, guys, what actually we get the data from these sources? We get the data from these sources, the big data, and ultimately, can you see here? These sources may store the data in the form of files, or else, we can also get the data. Or else we can also get the data. Yes, tell me now. We can also get the data in the form of what is it? Tell me now. Databases. Am I right, guys? We can also get the data in the form of what? Databases. Whereas the human generated data, anything, it can be in the form of files or whatever the type of things you can have, we can get the data from all these. So whereas now the process of ETL begins from here. So now, guys, tell me now, before the process of ETL is started, the Azure required to store the data in the formats of storages. That means we can say the storages in Azure. See, the storages in Azure or ADF storages is different. The storages in Azure is very common, which can be used by the service called ADF, else it can be used by the service called ADV, else it can be used by the service called what? Synapse, or any other service of the Azure can use this. So hence, let us start with the storages. Guys, what is that? Storages in Azure. So guys, in Azure, we store the data. We store the data into the following formats. Now, guys, all of you is following or not? Please come out with your answer, or else I'll give you some
Yes.
example for understanding this. It's not an issue, guys. You can just come out. Tell me now. I want to answer from every one of you who's attending the class, not one or two people.
Following, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So guys, so what is it? We have it. Storage
Storage.
Azure. So guys, it is just like, I'll give you an example now. Guys, you go to the supermarket. You go to the supermarket and you bought some groceries. Okay, some groceries you bought it. Whereas the groceries includes, can you see here? That groceries includes some grams, some Bengal gram, etc., grams you have purchased it. Okay, some rice you have purchased it. And to carry that, you have filled it in a bag and you came home. Am I right? So guys, you bought it in enough quantity. Rice and everything, you bought it in enough quantity now. Now, guys, will you keep in as it is packets, or you will tear the packet and fill it in a container? Before we use it, for regular usage as per your convenience, so you will store it, you will store that gram or whatever the rice you purchased it in a container. Am I right, guys? You will open up a container, and in that container you will pour these rice and etc., and store that container somewhere in the kitchen. That means
Yes.
it should be easily accessible to you. Whenever you require to cook, simply you can take from the container and start cooking. Am I right, guys, or not? So
Yes.
now tell me, as per your convenience, guys, as per your convenience and as per your requirement or as per your convenience, you're storing the groceries which you bought it, that is nothing but the rice or grams, in your own containers. Am I right or not? And why do you store that? And why do you store the groceries in your own container? Tell me now, guys. Why did you store it?
Easy to access.
Easy to access. So whenever you require to cook, immediately you can open the container, and you know, in this container we have a rice, and in this container you have a Bengal gram, and this container you have etc., etc. These are the things you have it. You can easily open it and use it. Am I right, guys? In the same way, when you get the data from the storages, what is this? These are called as what? Big data, sources of big data. That means this is type of a supermarket. From the supermarket, you're carrying the groceries in the form of a, what is that? You carry the groceries in the form of a, what is that? You take a bag, or you take a gunny bag, and you fill the gunny bag with what is that? Groceries, and get that gunny bag to your home. Am I right, guys? So in the same
Yes.
way, from the social networking sites, from the banking applications, the data will be converted and kept into the form of files or databases. Whereas these databases or files are required to be stored in Azure format or Azure storages, for which, like the container, the Azure uses its own storages for the data. First of all, we can store the data in what's that? Azure blob storage. What is that, guys? Azure blob storage. Getting my point? Now, guys, the second one is called as what? Azure Data Lake. All of you, Azure Data Lake Gen 1. Again, next, the data will be stored here in what is that? Azure, guys, Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Am I right, guys? Everyone? Azure Data
Yes.
Lake Gen 2. And then you can also have the storage as what? Azure Synapse Analytics. And we can also store the data in what is that? Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Lake Gen 1, Gen 2, and Azure SQL database. And now, guys, also we can store the data in what is it? Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB means what? Cosmos database, which is also called as NoSQL database. There will be NoSQL, guys. NoSQL database, guys. These are all the few type of containers where we store the data in Azure. So Azure supports, or Azure has almost all, guys. Azure has almost all 90 plus storages. How many storages it has, guys? Tell me now.
90 plus.
90 plus storages the Azure supports. That means the Azure has 90 plus storages to store the various type of data. But a blunt rule is that Azure blob storage can store any kind of data. That means what? How many kind of big data you can have? Types of big data, guys, tell me now. Yesterday we have already discussed it. Tell me now.
Three.
Yes, what are the types of big data? Tell me now.
Structured data,
Very
unstructured
good.
data, semi-structured data.
Yes, types of big data, guys. What is types of big data? So now, guys, the types of big data includes what is that? Whether you can have the data in the form of what is that? Structured format.
Data.
Structured means what, guys?
Row
In
and
a
column.
proper format in the form of rows and columns, just like your Excel sheet. Structured data. And now, guys, apart from this, we can also have the data in what is that? Semi-structured. Semi means what? Where you can store the data in what? JSON files, etc., etc. Semi-structured. Semi-structured data. And the third one, we can also store the data in the form of what is that? That is something but called as what? Unstructured. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
So whereas whether you can have the structured data or you have the semi-structured data or unstructured data, this data can be stored in the blob storage. Any kind of data it stores, guys. Structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. Structured data can be recorded here. That means the data which is kept in a proper rows and formats can be kept here, guys. Apart from this, it also supports to store the semi-structured data. So what means semi-structured data, guys? The data which is recorded in JSON files, XML files, which is not actually into the total structure format, but still it has some structure. Okay, which is called a semi-structure. And apart from this, you can also store the unstructured data. What is unstructured data, guys? Tell me now. That is nothing but videos. Okay, then you can have videos, photos, audio clips. Okay, then we can have what is that? You can have chat history. Okay, chat history. All this is nothing but it can store into the Azure blob storage. Getting my point, guys? Yes, everyone is here. Now, what about the Gen 1? See, guys, Gen 1, it basically supports the semi-structured and structured data. But now the Gen 1 is retiring in 2024. So hence, it is not allowing you to create the Gen 1 services. So guys, the entire thing, it stores in the Gen 2, where Gen 2 also supports all this kind of data. You can store the structured data, semi-structured data. Okay, guys, structured data and what is that? Semi-structured data. You can store it in the form of what is that? Gen 2. Okay, whereas unstructured data, we cannot store it in, mostly we don't store it in the Gen 2, guys. And now when it comes to the Synapse, you have it. Synapse means what? Synapse means what? It is a data warehouse. It is the data warehouse of Azure. So hence, guys, most of the times we store the data in the structured format only. Structured data. Here we store the structured data, and Azure SQL database supports only structured data. Getting my point, all of you? Structured data. And again, the Cosmos DB. Just tell me now, what kind of data should be stored in the Cosmos DB? Tell me now. No SQL database, na guys.
Any data.
No, okay, any data. Okay, that is called as what? Structured and semi-structured. Structured and semi-structured, we can store it here in the Cosmos DB also. So guys, these are the storages we have it. So you want to see the storages, guys? I'll show you the storages. How actually, can you see here how actually the data or how actually the Azure screen looks like, guys? Just have a look, everyone. Everyone is able to see my screen or not?
Yes, sir.
So
Able to
see
see.
the screen. Yeah, this is called as a Azure portal. Here only we start working. That is called as portal.azure.com. Guys, click on the more services here. Now, guys, here you have it. Let us see what are the storages you have it. Can you see here? Artificial intelligence plus machine learning. For this, these are the services it provides. And now, apart from this, guys, for data analytics, okay, it provides what is that? Can you see here? Analytics, it provides what is that? Data factory, etc. Okay, data lake, storage, and one. But storages, I'll show you just a minute. Storages, you will have it.
On top, one storage is there on the top. On top only. Yes.
No, you will have a separate tab here, storages. I'll show you. Now, guys, these are the databases which are supported here. Okay. After the compute, can you see? Can you see here? These are all the databases it supports. Databases. 17 different type of databases it supports. One of it is Cosmos DB for MongoDB. Okay, guys, MongoDB. Cosmos DB for MongoDB. So, guys, these are the, okay, can you see here? All services. Okay, but here it provides what is that? 90 plus storages to store the data in Azure. Getting my point, guys? Everyone. So these are the storages we have it. Clear now? So now, guys, actually this is the that is azure.portal.azure.com. This is the thing we have it. Now, guys, these are the storages. So, guys, the storages part is clear for everyone or not?
Yes.
So now, guys, let us start. I want answer from every one of you who's attending, please. So now, guys, everyone is clear. So what are the storages?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, guys, let us start with the components. Now we'll go back to the ADF. Components. In ADF. What is that? Components in ADF. See, guys, these are the components you have in ADF. These are the components you have in ADF. The first and foremost, that is the thing, but following are the components. So these, without this components, you cannot use the ADF, guys. That is Azure Data Factory. The first one is called as pipeline. And now, guys, the second one, okay, the second one is called as what? Linked service. And the third one is called as the what is that? Data sets. And the fourth one, guys, we can call it as the triggers. Okay, guys. Then we have activities. And the sixth one, pipeline, linked service, data sets. Okay, then we have what is that? Triggers, activities. So apart from the triggers, you also have one more thing that is called as debug. Okay, debug. Okay, guys. So then apart from this, you have what is that? IRs, which we call it as what? Integration runtimes. Integration runtime. Integration runtime, guys. Integration runtime. Okay. So IR, we have what is that? IR, that is called as what? Integration runtime. Getting my point? So these are all the components of ADF. What are the components of ADF? We have linked service, that is pipeline, linked service, all of you. Pipeline, linked service, data sets, activities, triggers, and integration runtime. These are all the components. Without this, we cannot move ahead. Yeah, tell me. Somebody want to ask something? Yeah. So guys, these are all the components. Now let us see how these components are used when it comes to the pipeline. So guys, just come to the pipeline. Now tell me, what do you mean by pipeline? Forget about the subject. Come out of the subject now. Now tell me, guys, what is a pipeline basically? So guys,
So in pipeline, means arrange the activity in a sequence to perform a particular job.
okay, very good. That's technically very efficient answer. That's fine. But guys, I don't want to move here technically now at this point of time. First of all, I would like to give you the explanation. So you guys, what is a pipeline? So I can say that the pipeline is nothing but it is responsible for orchestration of the data from the source to the target. That means, guys, we all stay in some apartments of some individual houses. Am I right, guys, everyone? We stay in
Yes.
some apartments or individual houses. So guys, how do we get the water into our wash areas?
Using pipeline.
Tell me now, how do we get it? Actually, there will be one overhead tank. There will be one overhead tank, and that overhead tank is connected to your wash area with a pipeline. Am I right, guys? With a pipeline. That is, suppose in a wash area you have a tap. You just you turn the tap, or you on the tap, you'll get the water. How you're getting that water? Tell me now. How you're getting that running water? Can you tell me, guys? Please, can you tell me? Through the pipeline. So I can say that from one, that is nothing but source of water. That means, what is the first source of water you have it, guys? The first
Tank.
source of water is the overhead tank, and from the overhead tank the water is reaching to your tap through a pipeline. So I can say that, can I say like this, guys? The pipeline is responsible for supply of the water from the overhead tank to your tap. Am I right or not?
Yes.
Please, everyone, tell me now, guys. Yeah. So now, can I use this word, guys? The pipeline is responsible to provide the water to your tap from the overhead tank. Or I can also say the pipeline is laid down to supply the water from the source of water. What is your source of water? Overhead tank. From the source of your water to the destination. What is my destination? My destination is a tap. Am I right, guys? Tap is the destination. So to supply the water between the source and the destination, the pipeline is laid down. Am I right or not?
Yes.
So what does that pipeline carries? It carries the water. Am I right or not, everyone? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it supplies the water. In the same way, guys, in the same way here also, can you see here? Here you have a source. Here you have a source, guys. Here you have a source. From the source to the target, guys, from the source to the target, we use ETL to perform the job. And ETL user, for ETL we are using what? ADF. And ADF needs a pipeline. What is that? Pipeline. What is that ADF needs? Tell me now. Pipeline. So pipeline. We lay a pipeline here. We lay down a pipeline. Guys, we lay down a pipeline. And this pipeline is responsible to provide or supply what? This pipeline is responsible to supply, what is that? Data to the destination. To the, what is that? Destination. Getting my point? This pipeline is responsible to supply the data. Here, data, not the water, guys. This pipeline, we supply, what is that, guys? Tell me now, data. So we can say that pipeline carries the data from the source to the target. Am I right or not? Everyone tell me now.
Yes.
Pipeline carries the, can tell me, guys, pipeline carries the data from, what is that? Pipeline carries the data from the source to the destination. Am I right or not? So pipeline is the component which carries the data from the source to the target. That is called as destination. Everyone is following or not? Please.
Yes.
So now, guys, next after this, what is the next thing you have it? Tell me now. The next one, that is called as a
Linked
component.
service.
Linked service. Now, guys, what do you mean by linked service? The linked service is nothing but, guys, how the, let us go back to our same example. You're getting the water. You're getting the water from the overhead tank. And you're getting the water to your tap. Okay, within that is you're switching on your tab and you're getting the water. But actually, the tab is getting the water from where? From the overhead tank. But what is the source of getting the water? Tell me now. Pipeline. Through the pipeline, we are able to get the water. Am I right or not? Everyone tell me.
Yes.
Yeah. Now the question is the pipeline and your tab is connected or not?
Yes.
The pipeline and your tab is connected or not?
Yes.
Yes.
If it are not, if these two things are not connected, will you get the water?
No.
Will you get the water or not?
No.
Tell me. No. So that means the pipe and the tap should be connected. Then only you will get the water. Now tell me, how do you connect the tap with the pipeline or with the pipe? Tell me now. How do you connect the tap with a pipe? Yes, guys. Yes. Okay, anyways, leave it. Now, guys, you all must be, some of us must be having the habit of gardening the plants, etc. Now you pour the water. Am I right, guys? You pour the water to the plants. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We pour the water. But how do you get the water? You get the water through a pipe, na? But whereas
Yes.
pipe, you cannot insert it directly into the tap. Can we insert the pipe into the tap or onto the tap? We can't. We require some, another type of object which connects the
Additional
pipe.
component.
Yeah, additional component is required to connect the pipe and the tap. Am I right or not?
Yes.
So that is acting as what? Mediator between your pipe and the tap or not?
Yes.
Yes, it is connecting the tap and the pipe. Am I right, guys?
Yes,
It is
sir.
connecting the tab and the pipe. Am I right or not, everyone? So whereas, guys, in the same way here also, the pipeline, can you see here? The pipeline is not pipeline. To connect the pipeline, can you hear? Here you have a pipeline. To connect the pipeline from the source and to connect the pipeline to the destination, we require a service here. That is called as what? Linked service. We require, what is that? Linked service. So we require linked service. So how many linked service we require it here? If we have two different sources, that is source and a destination, we require two link service. So this link service will creates the relationship between the pipe and the source. This will also create the relationship between the pipeline and the destination. Am I right, guys? So now this is nothing but called as what? Linked service. Okay, guys, everyone clear with the linked service or not?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone tell me now. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
yes.
now guys, let us take one more example here for understanding this linked service. Need not have any hesitation on this, guys. You all are got connected to me. What is the mediator between you and me? Tell me now, guys. I am the
Zoom.
faculty and you are the, I am the faculty, you are the student.
Zoom.
Who is the mediator?
Zoom.
Zoom.
Zoom is the mediator. But who is creating the Zoom?
DURGASOFT.
Very good. So DURGASOFT is acting as a mediator between the faculty and the students. Am I right or not?
Yes.
So we can say that DURGASOFT is connecting you and me. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, guys. Am I right or not? In the same
Yes,
way,
sir.
guys. Yes, in the same way here also, we can also say that is like a DurgaSoft. You have a link service. Okay, I'm the pipeline, and you people are the, let us say, source and the targets. So between you, I'll be taking up the data. That means I'll be taking up the entire course as a like a data information I'll provide you. Whereas connecting the pipeline with the source is the responsibility of linked service. Getting my point? Is the responsibility of what? Linked service. Am I right, everyone?
Yes.
Linked service. It is called as a responsibility of what? Linked service. So now, guys, this is the thing we have it. Okay. So now this is the second component. We have already done it. So everyone is clear with this or not? Now, guys, the third one is data sets. Tell me now, what do you mean data sets? Data sets is nothing but, guys, data set is nothing but, generally in some other these things, we call it as a table. Do you know table? Table means what, guys? Can you tell me now? What is
Row
it?
and col.
Exactly, a table. Can you see a table? A table is the collection of, what is that? A table is the collection of, what is that, guys? A table is the collection of rows and columns. Rows and columns. I'm writing the shortcut here, guys. Rows and columns. A table is the, what is collection of rows and columns here. Can you see rows and columns here? In the same way, guys, in the same way, the, can you see here that this kind of a table in ADF is referred as what, guys? Data sets. These are called as what? Data sets.
Yes.
Getting my point? Data set. As the table is a collection of rows and columns, data set is the collection of what? Yes, guys, observations, OBS, observations and variables. Getting my point? Observations and variables. Whereas observations are nothing but what? Rows. Observations are nothing but what, guys? Tell me now. Rows are called as observations and columns are called as what? Variables. Am I right, guys? Columns are variables, observations are rows. I'm just writing it here for your more understanding. Okay, guys? Comma R means what? Rows. And now variables are nothing but what is it? Tell me now. Columns. Or instead of commas, I will say R. C. Okay, guys, that's it. Here also instead of commas, I'll write it here. Clear, all of you now? Yes, guys, everyone? A table is nothing but what? Data set is the table. Clear? So now these are the three components. We got it. Everyone is okay now? Can you see here, guys? Everyone is understanding this? What is a pipeline? What is a linked service? And what is a data set? So everyone is clear with this?
Yes.
Sir, can you please write also in 1 line or 2 line for revision purpose?
Yes. So, guys, pipeline is nothing but it is responsible for carrying the data from the source to the target. Source to the target. From the source to the target. Okay. The source to the, whereas it relates link service. It relates the pipeline. It relates the pipeline with the, yes, it relates the pipeline with the source and destination. Destination or target, whatever you want. Now, data sets is nothing but these are the tables. The tables, these are the tables. These are the tables. These are the tables, or these are like the tables, you can say, like the tables where data sets are the collection of observations and variables. Observations and variables. So actual definition, I'm writing it right now, guys, for the data sets. These are the pointers to the source file and target file. Getting my point? These are the pointers to the source file or target file. Getting my point? This is nothing but the actual definition of a data set. Clear, guys? Yes.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right, everyone? Now, guys, triggers. Trigger means what? Yes, guys, generally what do you mean by trigger? Leave about this. I'll take an example here. Guys,
To schedule a job or to run on a particular a specific time or repeated time.
yes.
So for this purpose, we need
Yeah.
use trigger.
Yes, yes, very good. So now, guys, let us say you wanted to wake up. Okay, you wanted to wake up. Okay, you wanted to wake up early morning at 5 o'clock. So generally, what you do, as we
Set
hardly
alarm.
most of us we set an alarm. So once you set an alarm, whether you're waken up already at 5 o'clock or not, it will ring or not ring.
Ringing.
It will
It
ring.
will-
It will ring. It will ring unless until you snooze it or unless until you stop it. Am I right? Yes.
Yes.
It will ring. So whereas that alarm, do we need to start it manually or it is automated? The alarm is automated or you will start it manually? Tell me now, guys.
Automated.
Automated. That means automatically you'll set it in the night and automatically it will trigger and start in the morning, whatever the time you set it. Am I right, guys? Everyone?
Yes.
So whereas in the same way, guys, in the same way here also, you wanted to kickstart the pipeline. The pipeline you have already designed it with a link service and with the data sets, everything is designed. But you wanted to start this pipeline. You wanted to start this pipeline to run. You want to start this pipeline to what is that? Run at 9 p.m. On which date you have it? 30th of October 2022. You want to run at this particular time. Getting my point? You want to run at this particular time, run at 9 p.m. 30th 10 2022. So whether I am there in front of the system or not, it will run at this particular time or not? Tell me now. Huh?
Yes.
It will run because of what? Triggers. So triggers are those which kickstarts. Triggers are those which kickstarts the pipeline. Triggers are those which kickstarts the pipeline. So we can say triggers are those which kickstarts the pipeline to run. So guys, this is it. Clear now, everyone? Yes? Yes, guys, everyone, tell me now.
Yes, sir.
Now, guys, these are the, can you see here? These are the components, and rest of the components we have it activities and IRs. This we will see in the next class on Monday, guys. Tomorrow you will not have the class. We'll see it on Monday, guys. Okay. So we'll see it on Monday, and simultaneously we will start with the practicals on Monday itself. Okay, guys. So meanwhile, you can create this portal, portal.azure.com. So guys, how to start it? I will show you. Simply open it and go to this azure.com. Type it here as azure.com. Simply use it azure.com here. And once you use this azure.com, it will ask you whether you wanted to move it for free or you wanted to, can you hear it? Try Azure for free. or you want to go with what? Getting started. Click on this getting started and it will ask you get started. Click again. Now guys, it will ask you here whether you wanted to go with the, what is that? Getting started means it's coming because already I've signed in. So hence it is directly taking me here. So guys, if at all you just click on this azure.com, I'll show you Azure, azure.com. That's it. Once you click on this azure.com, you can just click on the sign in or you can click on the free account. So for this free account, generally what happens guys, if you click on the free account, can you see start free or pay as you go model? Two models you'll have it. Pay as you go means the way you are using it, that much you have to pay. And free means what? 30 days it will be free. 30 days to 1.5 month also, 45 days also it will come. So with the free, it will charge only 2 rupees, but subject to which you need to have a credit card. So enter the credit card number. After this, very simple process, guys. You can start up this. Okay. So once you start with this, guys, so immediately what you can do, finally, once everything is done, registrations, your card number, everything it accepts, it takes you to this portal. What is that? You have it, portal.azure.com. This particular web page it will drive you. Where can you see here? Here you will find like this. Can you see? This is my ADF clouds is the name, and email ID is something like this. Okay, and then default direct. Everything is here, guys. Okay, everyone is okay. So this is how you can start creating, because from Monday onwards we will start the practicals. I want everyone to attend the practical classes. Okay, guys, attend the practical classes. From the day one you can start working on it. So it's better before we go ahead, just try to create this portal. That's it. Okay, guys.
Yes.
That's it, guys. Thank you everyone for attending.
Sir, I have one question. So logic app will also be covered, right?
Yes, logic app is also covered.
Okay.
Automatically triggering the emails, notifications, whether about the pipeline. That is nothing but the logic app we have it.
Yes.
Yeah, we will see that logic apps. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it, guys. Thank you everyone. So we'll meet again on Monday at the same time, evening 7 p.m. Okay, guys. Thank you everyone. I'm ending up the class.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.